Hi, Johnny. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Welcome. Thanks for inviting me, David. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you wear the nice t-shirts representing company, right? You are the good company man, right?
all the time.
The people in the headquarters should love you.
They should give me extra, yeah.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I know that your background. You work in the as a semiconductor engineer and global foundry, right? Actually,
Yeah.
there I have a couple of my ex-colleague from General Electric who worked in headquarters in US, so I'm very familiar with that company. So now you turn into a automotive startup and CEO for the secondhand car trading platforms. So that's a very interesting life journey. So you change it completely from the semiconductor, which is very, very high tech, and then you move to the startup angle, fast growing startup. So why don't you start off by introducing a little bit about yourself, your journey to OLX Indonesia?
Sure. Yeah. So I guess my name is Johnny now. I'm the currently CEO of OLX Group Indonesia. So if you reflect back to many years back, well, I would say that many, but I started my journey as an R&D engineer, right? So back then, I was part of the team in the semiconductor who developed the first generation of Microsoft Xbox 360. So that game console, the first generation, sorry, the chip. So I spent a couple of years in the US and all doing all the R&D development. So pure hardcore technical guy, right?
Yes.
And then came back to Singapore, and kind of like normal, right? When you get about like close to 30 years old, start to have that kind of a thinking and crisis and saying like, why am I doing this here? Why is things to be still so deep into one topic, right? And I started to collect and think my options, right? And then decided to go back to school doing part-time MBA. And then from there, basically got an opportunity to go back to Indonesia. I'm basically Indonesian anyway. So decided to go back and then join a management consulting firm. That's when I started to see things more holistically, more on the commercial side and all. And then move on to CPP, which is a part of the Charon Pokpan Group, the Thailand company.
CP Group.
Yes, CP Group. Doing all the advisory strategic planning, then move on into a digital world, which is one of the largest, I would say, digital payment in Indonesia. I was the founding team, basically. Then now that company already become a unicorn. And then move on into the Frontier Car Group, right, which is basically the automotive space as a CEO. And then the company was acquired by OLX, and that's where I am now. So it's always like a very different journey. From semiconductor to consulting to shrimp business into a digital payment, and then come into the automotive space.
Yeah, sounds like a very interesting journey and dramatic. Yeah, by the way, I understand I used to finance semiconductor equipment a lot as a banker. Now I know that the semiconductor sector is super hot now, right? Due to the huge global shortage now, right? I spoke to the couple of friends, ex-customer. They're saying that they don't have time because they need to manufacture 24 hours, right? Sounds like you left that hot industry when the market is booming.
I made the right decisions earlier, yeah.
Yes, I hope that you made the right move into the startup space. Yeah. Okay. So with OLX, what problem are you solving in the second-hand car trading market?
So in a way, we solve a couple of things, right? So basically, in the used car industry, it's always an ecosystem between buyer and seller. So if we look at the seller side, there's always the question of anytime you want to sell a car, you feel the pain of not knowing exactly how much is your car. And then if you want to sell to a consumers, there's some safety issues and all that, especially now during pandemic, right? You don't want to meet so many people also. And then some people come to your house and say, do a little bit of chat, do a test drive, then suddenly your car is gone, So, or even if you want to go to the dealer, right? The dealer will touch your car, like 10, 15 minutes later, they'll just give you a price. You don't even know how that price come out. You go to another dealer, you get another 20% difference from the pricing. So you get confused what is going on, right? No transparencies and all that. And then if we are talking about when somebody wants to buy the car, it's the same thing, right? You don't know the car situations, no transparencies and all that, right? And then you don't even know which car and where, you need to travel, so same with the dealers when they want to procure the car, they also have that challenges. So they're trying to, if there's a buyer who wants to buy a certain car, and then he doesn't have the stock, he's trying to find that stock. And if he's located like 50 kilometers away from the stock, he needs to check the car, and then maybe not even getting that car because of the price differences. In the end, he's just wasting the whole time, right? So I think with all that pain points and all, what we're trying to do is really to bring in new disruptions in the automotive industries where we try to bring in that peace of mind and transparencies and convenience to the consumers, right? And also to the dealers. So whether it's a car buyer or car seller or dealers, it's the same thing. So what we're saying is that, look, you want to sell your car, you come to me, or I come to your house, I do inspections, very transparent. I open up all the inspection report to you. There's a price offered to you. I'm not saying that will be going to be the best, highest price that you can get, but it's a fairly competitive price. Transparencies, right? So grade A, grade B, you will see it. Same thing, and we do it like within 60 minutes, right? We just paid, that's it, done. If you want to buy a car, same thing. You have that peace of mind. I can do a home delivery to you. Don't worry, if you don't like it, within 7 days, we can get refund. You can get money back guarantee. You can, within 30 days, you have that machines guaranteed. Any spot, just come to us, we'll fix it and all. So there's a maintenance also later on. So really, you try to tell them that, look, you don't really need to come. You don't need to worry. It's done. Same thing with the dealers. The dealers will just want to buy. They just look at the app. They click, or they're happy. Next day they come in. They look at the car, do a bit of a physical check, bring home. That's it. Just trying to make life simpler.
Yeah. So I know the couple of similar business model, maybe not same, but similar business model
Correct.
in Malaysia, like a Kasam, and then
Correct.
Singapore, they have another company. So how do you compare? Is your business model is unique and different from those competitor? If so, how do you differentiate yourself against those guys?
Sure. So if you look at it as what you're saying, the business model is a little bit similar, but I think the main differences is that we do have a whole complete ecosystem, right? So you have from the car listing, which is the classified business, and then you have that transaction models, which is all the buying and selling offline and online. And then I think we also bring in the component of all that financing, right? And I think if you think about it, the presence, at least if you talk about regional, maybe they are in the regions, but in Indonesia, I think we are the largest. We have the most presence in all the geography serving our customers. And then if you talk about not the regional, but from the global perspective, I think we operate in a much more countries than them.
Yeah.
So I think we are operating in more than 10 countries now. So I think the sharing of the sharing of the knowledge, and then in the level of the efficiencies and all, I think we benchmark across, right? So operationally we should be more efficient, and then from the customer perspective, we are closer to them, and then we are providing a much more comprehensive portfolio to our customers.
Understood. I think it makes sense. I understand the OLX operate the same business model around the world, including Latin America and Africa and
Correct.
many part of the world, right?
Correct. You know us very well.
Yes,
You know
yes.
my previous industry, and you know my current industry well.
Right, right. Also, the having been a banker long many decades, I
Yeah.
financed. Actually, I financed the car financing company. I didn't directly
Ah,
finance the.
so very coincidence, yeah. Very
Yes,
coincidence.
and I did it.
Interesting.
So I have a little bit of understanding of the car financing market in Indonesia or
Lovely.
the other. But typically, it's a second-hand car is is not well served in most of emerging market, right? Because
Very correct.
banker do not have understanding how to underwrite a deal, right?
Correct.
Maybe so. What is the penetration of a second-hand car financing in Indonesia?
So if we talk about people who buy the car, right? I think it's probably around 50 to 60% through financing, but that's what already been approved, right? So there are many other potential car buyers that actually trying to get the car, but they don't get approved, right? And
Yeah.
that numbers I don't know, right?
So
Because the lead conversion very small. Yeah.
yeah, are those financing made by the banks or multi-finance company?
Both.
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 Quite high, higher than other emerging market, yeah, fast-growing market.
Recently become very high because I think a lot of all the Indonesian people think through from the perspective of very simple, right? So they only think through on two numbers, right? First number is, can I pay the down payment?
Mm.
Second numbers is, can I pay the installment? They don't care about the interest and all that, to be honest,
Yeah.
right? Most of them actually.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Gotcha. Gotcha. Uh, last time we had a chat. Looks like you're a very interesting guy. You have I mean, a lot of curiosity and interesting hobby. So, what? Tell me about something you're passionate about other than business.
yeah, so I pick up lifting weights actually from many years back, been on and off. I started lifting weight from 2005, but recently this 2021 year I've been lifting quite seriously also now, pretty much on a daily basis. uh, Not the common lifting that you probably see on the people on the gym, but I lift heavy. I think now I deadlift like about 220 kilo. And then
That's a
I
500, almost a 500 pound, right?
more than that.
More than
No,
that.
yeah, almost
Oh,
500,
500, 500.
almost 500 pounds. And then I squatted 170 kilo, and I bench like about 120 kilo. Uh, Total up everything more than 500, right? Pretty much 500, right? So 500 plus kilo. So
I
that's like
don't
1,000 pounds.
I don't have a good understanding the weightlifting of the professional level, but I think it's a similar sounds like similar to the professional guy who will weightlifting, right?
No. So
No?
professional definitely is higher than
Okay.
me. But I think on the compared to those on the average people, or even like those average that go to the gym, I think I lifted quite heavy compared to them.
Yeah, 200 kilogram is I can barely lift 50 kilogram probably. I'm not
You
a small
imagine.
guy. I'm not a small guy, but I can barely lift 50 kilogram. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess I started off also like that, right? But the thing is that what I really like about this sport, right? I would say that there are a couple of things, right? That I think the philosophy itself can really can be bring into the business, right? So number one, right? I think from this sport is a discipline and commitments, because you know the moment you skip like 1 week or 2 weeks, you come back, you lose your strength,
Yes.
you lose progress.
Right.
Very measured, right?
Yeah.
Second, when you see progress, very measurable. The numbers is don't lie, right?
Yes.
You live,
Yeah.
you live. You don't live, you don't live, right? Five rep,
Yeah.
5 reps, 6 reps, 6 reps. So then number three, I think it really train your mental, right? Because sometimes is you can live, but you are afraid to take
Right.
hit because you are
Let me
afraid
ask
to.
you. Let me ask a question. Let me tease you a little bit. Be asking the silly question. Why are you doing that? Because you don't produce anything. You don't make money, and then why? What drive you to do that? I mean, you may help the poor people building the house, and then shovel the ground, and then you can use the energy more productive way, right? Tell me the
So
reason, motivation behind that.
So there are two reasons why I want to
Right.
do that, right? So one reason is really to myself. It's my own personal satisfaction when I feel that I can beat myself
Okay.
in this aspect, right? Like if let's say yesterday I lift 210, the next week I lift like 220, at least I know that I'm beating myself. And that kind of character and that kind of process basically helps me in my own life also, right? Professionally. So that's number one. Number two, actually, I also like to share a lot of all these things in my social media. And the reason I share is not because I'm trying to show off. but
Mm.
really trying to inspire people. And the reality is that a lot of people actually texted me and direct message me saying like, look, continue doing that because of me seeing you doing this on a daily basis with the level of commitments that you are bringing into the table. I also inspired to do it, right? So
Yeah.
there are more than 10 people already texted me on all these things, right? And in
Yeah.
that, initially they don't even exercise, they start to exercise. Initially they don't have a home gym, they start to buy a home gym and they start to work out, right? And I think
Yes.
it's really spreading that positivity. Yeah.
Right. I like your answer. Yeah, make a lot of sense. Yeah. I also try to be positive or stay positive all the time, but it's quite challenging. Or people are become
Well,
easily lazy.
by doing this podcast, actually, you are also spreading positivity, right?
Yes,
It's a
yes,
good
that's
thing.
true. That's a true. Yeah, very refreshing activity for my life, right? Yeah.
Correct, correct,
True,
correct.
true. Let me ask an interesting question, beside the business question. Who is the nicest person you have ever met in your life and why? Besides your family member, don't talk about your wife and your father, mother, or someone else.
Sure, sure, sure. So I have this friend that I've known him from my previous work in the digital payment lah. His name is
Mm,
Henry, right? So I guess you have a different level of friends, right? And
mm,
sometimes a friend could be even closer to you than your family members, and that really shows when you know that when you have difficulties, he will be the first person who shows the most concern and really genuine, right? And you
mm.
can tell
Yep.
that you really can tell, right? So and I gave you one examples that really just happened like recently, right? I think I just told you also that um, I was infected by COVID, right? And then my
Yes.
mom also was infected by COVID. That's why we're supposed to do this like a month or 2 months ago, but that never happens and need to be
Yeah.
postponed. And my mom passed away about 3 weeks ago, right, on the 8th of July. But when we were infected, right, he basically really genuinely like asking, look, what help do you need? Do you have any cash to pay? I mean, not many people ask that, right?
Yeah.
Especially about money. Um,
Right.
they ask, oh yeah, you can call me anytime. Sometimes it's just a lip service, right? But the moment people say, look,
Moment of a truth. Moment of
do you
truth.
have money? If you
Yeah.
don't have money, I transfer now, so that
Yeah.
you can cover first and all that. It's a very different level. Uh, and, and, and,
Right.
and
I
then they
can I
even,
can feel that. Yeah.
and he's like even asking like, oh, do you want me to send something? There was one time that my mom was telling me that she was hallucinating, right? And she started to say that she's seeing ghosts at night and all that because the level of the oxygen drops, right?
Mm,
And then he basically saying like, look, can I send you that rosario, like the
mm.
Catholic, so that she can hold it, at least feel closer to God and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
It's a very, how should I put it? Very genuine interest and concern and care towards you,
Yes.
and you
Yeah.
really can tell. Yeah,
You are a very
I think,
lucky
I think
guy. You're a
yeah.
very lucky guy.
So I think that's where you really see that a friend is not only true to you, but really like go beyond like a family member. Yeah.
Yes. It's a very difficult. Everybody is looking for that kind of relationship with a friend and people, but very difficult to develop that kind of relationship with
Very hard.
people. Uh, I mean, even when we getting older and older, it's much more difficult to find people outside the business or
Correct.
relationship, right?
Correct.
So you are very
I
lucky. I
started
envy
off
you.
professionally with him. I mean, I
Right.
knew him because he was my colleague, right? But later on, until now, he's still my colleague. But
Mm,
it goes beyond that, lah, I would say.
yeah,
Really.
yeah. I envy you. Yeah. So, what is your the final destination, your professional journey? What is long term goal for you?
Well, I guess I think for me it's very simple, right? One, definitely, I need to create an impact towards the community. So whatever it is, wherever am I, what am I going to do? I have to create and bring positive impact towards the community, right? So that's number one. Number two, aside from creating impact to the community, I need to create value to myself as well. I think that's also equally important. And if you really ask me specifically what you gotta do and all that, there are many things. I mean, which I already also starting now, which is basically sharing all the positivity, sharing my knowledge and all that, becoming mentor, jury of all the startups and all that. Even I'm really very active in the education sector. Right? I give back to a lot of my knowledge, my time and all to my alma mater, my university, right? Nanyang Technological University. So I think that's where I'm seeing myself to be. Aside from professionally, is basically as long as that role or that work really create impact and create value, I'll be more happy to grow in that aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds very good. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for taking time and to share your
You're
professional
welcome,
journey
David.
and then
You're
talk
welcome.
about great to talk about your company.
You're welcome. Thank you so much also inviting me. Thank you,
Thank
David.
you.
Appreciate it.